Hey there, history buff and board game enthusiast. Ever wondered what people did for fun thousands of years ago before Monopoly or chess came along? Well, let me introduce you to Senet, one of the oldest known board games in human history. Played over 5,000 years ago in ancient Egypt, Senet wasn't just a pastime, it was a blend of strategy, luck, and even spirituality. So grab your metaphorical dice, or sticks in this case, and let's dive into the fascinating world of Senet, its rules, gameplay, and deeper meaning. Imagine a board with 30 squares arranged in 3 rows of 10, players moving pieces based on random throws, and a mix of skill and chance determining the outcome. Sounds simple, right? But Senet wasn't just about winning. It was deeply intertwined with Egyptian beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. The name Senet translates to the game of passing in ancient Egyptian, which hints at its symbolic significance. Over time, it evolved from a casual family game to something almost sacred, often depicted in tombs and hieroglyphs as part of the journey to the afterlife. Think of it as part board game, part spiritual ritual. While we don't have a complete rulebook from ancient Egypt, papyrus doesn't last forever. Historians and archaeologists have pieced together the basics of Senet through artifacts, tomb paintings, and later interpretations. Here's how the game likely worked. A Senet board consists of 30 squares arranged in 3 rows of 10. Certain squares had special markings or symbols that affected gameplay. For example, square 26 was often marked as the beautiful house, possibly representing rebirth. Squares 27-29 were dangerous spaces called the waters of chaos. Square 30, the final square, symbolized reaching the afterlife or ultimate victory. Each player had 5 to 7 pawns or counters, typically cone-shaped. Players took turns moving their pieces across the board toward square 30, aiming to be the first to get all their pieces off the board. Movement was determined by throwing casting sticks, knuckle bones, or a 4-sided die. These tools acted like modern dice, generating random numbers between 1 and 4. If a player landed on an opponent's piece, they could send it back to the start, or sometimes block them entirely, depending on the interpretation of the rules. Landing on certain squares triggered specific actions. Safe squares allowed protection from opponents. Hazard squares might force a player to skip turns or move backwards. The final few squares required exact rolls to exit, adding tension near the endgame. To win, a player had to move all their pieces off the board by landing precisely on square 30. This process mirrored the Egyptian belief in navigating challenges to reach eternal peace, a concept central to their worldview. Here's where Senet gets really intriguing. While it started as a recreational activity around 3100 BCE, it gradually became infused with religious symbolism during the Middle Kingdom period, circa 2055-1650 BCE. By the New Kingdom era, circa 1550-1077 BCE, the net had transformed into something far more profound. The game was seen as a microcosm of life's journey and the soul's passage through the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, to reach the field of reeds, a paradise-like afterlife. Rolling the casting sticks represented fate or divine will, while strategic decisions reflected personal agency in overcoming obstacles. Archaeologists have found Senet boards buried alongside pharaohs and commoners alike, suggesting it held both earthly and spiritual importance. Tomb paintings show gods like Osiris playing Senet against mortals, emphasizing its connection to immortality and judgment. You might be thinking, sure, it's cool that ancient Egyptians played board games, but why does it matter now? Well, here's why Senet is worth knowing about. Studying Senet gives us insight into how ancient cultures balanced entertainment with philosophy. It shows us how they thought about fate, strategy, and morality, all through the lens of play. Senet influenced later games like backgammon and even modern board games. Its structure, random movement combined still a cornerstone of tabletop gaming today. Understanding Senet helps us appreciate the depth of Egyptian culture. They didn't just build pyramids, they also created art, literature, and games that reflected their values and worldview. Absolutely. Modern replicas of Senet boards are available online, and several organizations have reconstructed plausible rule sets based on historical evidence. Whether you're a history nerd, a gamer, or just curious, playing Senet can give you a hands-on connection to the past. If you want to try it out, look for a printable Senet board or buy a replica set. Use coins, stones, or any small objects as pawns. Roll dice or toss sticks to determine moves. Channel your inner ancient Egyptian and imagine yourself navigating the path to eternity. So, what can we learn from a 5,000-year-old board game? Plenty. Senet reminds us that humans have always sought ways to connect with each other, with their beliefs, and with the mysteries of existence. It's a testament to our enduring love for games and storytelling, proving that even millennia later, we're not so different from our ancestors. Have you ever tried playing Senet, or would you consider giving it a shot? What fascinates you most about ancient games? Let's chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts.